Calisthenics is an interesting sport because one is able to dominate their own body weight, like being able to pull himself up, doing different exercises which requires a lot of agility. And I think the benefits are mental, physical, emotional. I think it's a whole different world if you really get into it and you understand your body in a whole different level and you see what you're able to become, what your body is able to do.
Voices to hear.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Voices to Hear. I'm Jolanta and I'm joined today by Ferran. In this episode, we will try to find out how you can avoid the gym and stay fit by using calisthenics.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for being with us today. Would you like to tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, as you said, my name is Ferran Mortés McLellan. I'm 18 years old and I'm here in Skopje and I'm doing voluntary work. And in my free time, I enjoy, as you said, doing calisthenics. And I enjoy it a lot. I've been doing it for about a year and a half. Honestly, I've learned so much from it and I can't wait to get straight into it.
The English word calisthenics comes from the Greek kallos, what means beauty, and sthenos, strength. Beautiful strength. What exactly does beautiful strength or calisthenics means?
Right, so basically calisthenics, as you said, has this meaning, but also the origin of calisthenics comes from gymnastics, which you could say calisthenics is the strength base from gymnastics. So all the strength exercises you do in gymnastics, the exercises including them are from calisthenics. So for example, in gymnastics you use the rings, and in calisthenics you also use the rings and you practice on the rings doing basic exercises, while in gymnastics it's more advanced and it's more strict and it's more elegant, as you could say. So yeah, calisthenics, you could say it's like the base core of gymnastics.
And what made you interested in calisthenics?
So, as I was talking about gymnastics now, I actually did gymnastics for a year, but unfortunately I had to stop because of schoolwork and all of that. I didn't have enough time. And then shortly after that, unfortunately I broke my wrist and I had to take a few months off, almost a year actually. And then I had a friend that was just getting into calisthenics and he introduced me into the working out world again. So I'm very thankful for him. His name is Marci, shout out to him. He's been very helpful and he's been an inspiration.
How long do you do this kind of workout already?
So calisthenics I've been practicing for a year and a half, almost 2 years now. I think I started in the summer of 2020. So this summer is going to be 2 years.
Can you tell us a bit what are the benefits of calisthenics?
Right, so calisthenics is an interesting sport because one is able to dominate their own body weight, like being able to pull himself up, doing different exercises which requires a lot of agility. And I think the benefits are mental, physical, emotional. I think it's a whole different world if you really get into it and you understand your body in a whole different level and you see what you're able to become, what your body is able to do, things that you're never able to even imagine. Just from, the work you put in, your body, is just in a phenomenal shape that you're able to do stuff you never imagined you were able to.
How can you know that calisthenics is right for you?
Right, this is a question that we get a lot because, people are more meant for calisthenics because they're more agile, they're more on the thin side, so therefore it's easier while pulling themselves up and it's easier in general to doing bodyweight exercises. But I think that calisthenics is a sport for everyone, although people are more in an advantage than in a disadvantage, that's true. But that happens everywhere. So I think that everyone is able to do calisthenics, but they just need to put their mind to it. They obviously need to be introduced to it properly because nowadays there's also a lot of misinformation, I think, and lots of people get injured because they don't really know what they're doing, and that's very common. But, as I fully understand the sport and the philosophy behind it, I'm here to try to give information to those people and try to introduce them well.
Are there any disadvantages of calisthenics?
You could say there are. I know a few people that have been doing calisthenics for quite some years now. And I think you can't do calisthenics your whole life because sometimes you take your body to the limit. You could have shoulder problems later on in your 30s if you do calisthenics for a few years. But I think that if you're able to stretch, you're able to fully understand your body, I think there's no problems when it comes to injuries. Apart from that, I don't know if there's any disadvantages.
What about you? Do you already know your limits?
I think every day there's a new challenge. I'm trying to push myself to places I've never been, especially when it comes to strength exercises, flexibility exercises as well, all sorts of exercises that I thought I would never be able to do. I've never been flexible, and, just for a few months that I've been properly stretching now, I'm almost able to do the splits. It's little examples like this which you can see clear results from your work that you've put in. So I think that in this case, there's no limits. In the end, we're all human, gravity exists, but it's very interesting to see what you're able to do just from working hard and, being constant.
What about me? How can I teach myself calisthenics?
Right, so nowadays, actually, there's a big advantage, which is the internet. There's many places, many influencers, many big people that, give information and, teach and do routines, programs. You can even pay for it, and it's incredible the amount of options we have. Although I recommend that there's so many video calls you can do and stuff, things online nowadays, but I think the best thing to do is have a friend going working out with. I think that's the best thing you can do. From there on, you can more or less go with the flow. If you want to learn how to do a specific exercise like a handstand or a flexibility thing like the splits or the pancake, you can get into more specific stuff by searching on the internet, being informed. Also on the nutrition side, there's lots of stuff on the internet, how to have a proper diet, everything needs to be good. Nowadays it's a lot easier, so you've got many options.
Before you mentioned misinformation,
Sure.
How can you avoid that?
Right, so yes, especially when it comes to calisthenics, some people misunderstand the whole thing. Some people think that it's more of street workout. We work quantity over quality. It's I'm trying to get 10 pull-ups, and they just focus on that, and they don't actually focus on good form exercises, which then later on there's a possibility of being injured. So I think there's a bit of misinformation and it's been spreading, but it's fine. It's completely normal. This is a thing that's actually growing, and that's also has some background from getting in shape, and I think from early 2000s it only started growing. So it's normal that people have different philosophies towards working out because it's a very open-minded thing. And, there's many possibilities, many ways of working. I think the best thing to do is knowing your body, knowing your limits, knowing what's good, knowing what a good form is, and focusing on quality before quantity all day. And if you're able to do that, I don't think that there's any inconveniences.
If I already know the basics, how can I master the art of calisthenics?
Right, good questions. The thing is with calisthenics, it all comes with progressions. Progressions is the key word. So if you're focused on an exercise that requires a lot of strength, you need to know the muscle targets that are required to, master that exercise. You need to focus on them, and it's progressive. Are you familiar with the push-up? Well, there's an exercise that I consider the most difficult in calisthenics called the full planche, which is basically like a push-up form, but with your feet up in the air. So basically only your arms are, your hands are touching the ground. Yeah, it sounds ridiculous.
Sounds very difficult.
Yes, definitely. People see that and say, okay, where do I start? Because doing that is ridiculous. People take years to do something like that. So I think if you start with a push-up, then you start with more advanced variations of the push-up, then, little by little you get to do these progressions, how your body works. You have some good days, you have some bad days, but it's like little by little you get to more advanced variations and you master them, and it's like a new challenge, and then there's another goal, and there's another goal, and then little by little you get to your final goal, which is the full planche in this example. So yeah, it's progressions, that's the key word.
What is your favorite exercise?
Right, so it used to be the full planche, okay, because aesthetically it looks fabulous, it's very impressive. But lately I've been getting onto the handstand world, yes, the upside down world. The handstand is, it looks quite simple. I mean, it doesn't require much strength. It's a very balanced exercise, but it's very difficult to master for some people because you need to keep your body in a straight line, and also there's other more difficult variations where there's the one hand handstand, and then there's like the handstand push-up. There's many things, so I would really like to master the handstand in all ways, and I think that would be incredible. So yeah, I can't wait.
Handstand push-up, did you try it?
Not yet, but it'll come soon.
And what gives you motivation?
My friend introduced me into the working out world, and he's been a big inspiration next to me. But also, lately I've been getting into trying out new things, like, for instance, circus, trapeze, all of that. There's a gym teacher that I have, a monitor. She's called Laura, and she used to be in Cirque du Soleil. Yeah, she's incredible, and she's like 48 years old, and she's still going. She's so fit, and she's such a good mentor as well. I think thanks to her, and also I have a few idols when it comes to the calisthenics world. There's some competitions yearly. Some people you can't compare to them. It's just on another level. They're superhuman. I have a few idols and people next to me that, very inspirational and that motivate me to keep on going, and I appreciate that a lot. And if anyone wants to get into the working out world, I mean, the best thing to have is someone next to you there to support you and be there to help, giving tips, but the real work comes within.
Do you think that one day you will feel ready to take part in this kind of competition?
I think everything's possible. I think that one day, hopefully I will. Although, now that I'm trying things out, everything like that, I might end up in a circus, I might end up, being a calisthenics professional athlete, I might be a trainer, a coach, or I don't know in the end. But someday, one way or another, I think I'm going to be an inspiration to others, like others have been to me. A little bit like a lighthouse, showing path to others and, making this path, because calisthenics is maybe not very known, and many people ask me, what is it you do? I'm not quite sure, it's not very common. So I think that I'm giving path. It's almost like an older brother. I give path so that the little one can come forth after. But yeah, I'm very happy that, I'm doing this, and I'm, showing, we're all showing the world, the community, something new and something, different from everything else. And I think it's just great.
What can I say? Good luck.
Thank you.
Would you like to give some advice for those who lack motivation and would like to work on their self-improvement? Right,
so I think the first thing someone should think is that you're worth it. You can do it. You've heard this everywhere, but really you can. I think you should listen to yourself. Especially when it comes to, mentally, physically, emotionally, all of that. You need to be aware of yourself in many ways. And from there on, when you know yourself properly, you need to just focus on what you really want to do. It can be calisthenics, it can be ballet, it can be tennis, it can be rugby, it can be whatever you want, but you need to enjoy it, you need to be passionate about it, you need to, really focus on it. And that's where you're going to have fun. And you can have fun with others, you can have fun by yourself. Sky's the limit, the world is your oyster, and you're free to do whatever you want. And, hopefully this podcast you're listening to can be a little bit of an inspiration, but I mean, just go for it. Why not? The things that you're thinking I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll try this another day, or just go for it. Sometimes, you need to just try it, and, then you'll figure out if you like it or not, and just focus on it.
Sky's the limit.
Yes, you could say so.
Thank you, Ferran.
Thank you, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you guys for listening, and big thanks to Ferran for sharing his knowledge about calisthenics with us. Did you get inspired? Goodbye for now and have a great workout!